It's now time to go inside the huddle for this week's Ask Thad segment. The Bills come off a loss to the Rams, looking to get back in the win column this Sunday against the Lions. Sports director Thad Brown joins us from Orchard Park. Before we get into today's questions, Thad, let's set the stage. How's it going over there?
Yeah, the injury update today goes like this. Taylor Rapp, Rasul Douglas did not practice today. Now, the Bills held a walkthrough, so all the practice designations get a little grain of salt. But those guys will be the injury concerns for this week. On the bright side, Coleman, Dalton Kincaid had a full practice today. Both seem ready to finally return from their injuries. Also, Dewan Smoot, who's been on injured reserve, his practice window has been open, and the Bills could use all the help they could get on the defensive line. So if Smoot plays this week, it would be a benefit. Teresa?
All right, well, Coleman and Dalton Kincaid appear ready to return. How much of an impact can they have at this point?
Yeah, both those guys offer athletic dimensions that a lot of the receivers in the Bills don't have. They're just faster, bigger, stronger in a lot of cases. The thing is, the Bills' offense has scored 30 points 6 of the last 7 games. Some of those games with Kincaid and Coleman, some without. So clearly, it's not like those two guys are the linchpin to the offense succeeding. This year, Josh Allen's playing so well, it doesn't really matter who's around him. So I think when it comes to Kincaid and Coleman returning, the impact won't be that big.
All right, and what's the mood there, Thad? Will the Bills be motivated or even angry after the loss to the Rams, especially on defense?
Yeah, this week, or at least today, there wasn't a whole lot of anger. This is a team that says, look, we're 10-3, we're still in good shape. There was more, it was less of let's add more anger to this week and more of let's replace some of the detail orientation, some of the urgency that we lost last week, getting back what we didn't do as opposed to adding on more this week. Again, this team is 10-3. They're not going to change what they're doing. They're still in very good shape.
All right, now for an ownership question. The Bills announced today that 20% of the team was sold to a group of 10 limited partners. What does that mean for the future of the team?
In terms of from a fan's point of view, it won't be much for them. Look, this was a situation where the NFL recently decided they wanted to make it easier for owners to bring in limited partners. The valuation of these franchises is just skyrocketing, so the league wanted to allow owners to kind of cash in on that a little bit, and that's in part what the Terry Pegula did with this. Now, some of the owners that are being added to the Bills slate are guys like Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady, NBA players people might know, but also they're people that are well connected to Toronto. And Terry Pegula talked today in Dallas at the owners' meetings about wanting to grow into that market a little more. This does not mean the Bills are going to play games in Toronto again, at least not nearly on the regular basis they were before. No one liked that idea, but it's still a market the Bills want to be involved with. One thing about the money that's being added, Terry Pegula said today, he doesn't know what he wants to do with it. I don't know how much I buy that. Look, you're not going to make this move unless there's a purpose behind it. The Sabres have not been doing well financially. There's a stadium right over there that has cost overruns left and right. So I'm sure the Bills and the Pegulas could use the dollars, even if Terry Pegula kind of distanced himself from the idea that gaining money was the purpose of this move.
Well, it certainly is an interesting list of investors. As always, thank you for answering our questions, Thad. We'll see you again soon as the Bills prepare for a big game this weekend.